Welcome back to the channel. Today, I woke up, went through Facebook, and I saw a post. And if you're watching this is about you. I can't remember who it was, but it showed all 7 Canadian goalies in the Canadian division. And he put, why do we have a backup goalie for us when everyone else has a starter? We should have went after Holtby. And, you know, I got, when I do these videos, I look into the stats. The stats don't lie. Those are real stats, real time. They don't lie. So before I get started, make sure you hit that subscription button, that notification button, and let's go and look. So like I said, he said Koskinen's a backup goalie. Okay, Koskinen last year, him and Smith were splitting pretty much equally throughout the season. Koskinen went 18-13 with 3 overtime losses, but that's not the numbers I want to talk about. You can have a goalie that goes, 26 or 20, 36 and 28, and no one's gonna say, they're gonna say, well, he's more of a starter than Koskinen. No, not in reality. So the stats I look at is the goals against and the save percentage. That shows how decent the goalie was last year. Because we can always look at the record and go, well, why didn't we win? Well, Koskinen could have let in only 1 goal, and the Edmonton Oilers never got any on the board, is what I'm getting at with this. So Koskinen last season had a 2.75 goals against with a 917 save percentage. That was his lowest goals against in his career and his highest save percentage in his career. And we're still talking about how he's a backup? No. Let's take a look into all the 7 goalies. So Koskinen 2.75 with a 917 save percentage. You go and look at Jacob Markstrom last year. 2.75 with a 918 save percentage. So 0.001 better than Koskinen, and Markstrom's making $6 million this season. We're paying Koskinen, I believe it's 3.5 or 4.5 in that range. To have him have a 0.001 worse save percentage, you got to get out of here with that. Koskinen and Markstrom, comparing the last 2 years, are the same, essentially. Markstrom did play more games, but in reality, he only went 23-16. So that's 5 more wins than Koskinen with 3 more losses. You see where I'm going with this? They basically were the same goalie last year. And looking at Markstrom's beginning numbers, same as Koskinen's, he started off slow. He was in the 0.8 and got better, and we're hoping Koskinen can do that this year too. So Markstrom's equal to Koskinen from last season. Now you go to Vancouver Canucks, Braden Holtby. You're saying, well, we should have got Holtby. Well, he had a 3.11 goals against average last season with an 897 save percentage on a decently good team. That team was decent last year. The Capitals were a good team, and the goalie, Braden Holtby, has lost his touch. Let's be honest. He's not the same goalie that won the Stanley Cup. He's not the goalie that's the 925 save percentage. He has gone down. So right there, Koskinen, number-wise, is better than Braden Holtby. Now, of course, you go to the Vezina winner in Hellebuyck. So, of course, Hellebuck's numbers last year were insane. The Winnipeg Jets didn't do well, but Hellebuyck did keep them in it with a 2.57 goals against and 922 save percentage. So right there, okay, Winnipeg, essentially, if we go from the numbers from last season, does have the better goalie. But the season before, Hellebuyck had a 290 goals against with a 913 save percentage. So Hellebuyck had one good year. his career-wise is a 2.64 with a 917 save percentage. And anywhere in the 915 or higher for a goalie is good. Even 910 is good. It's the NHL. It's goalies aren't gonna have all the time these 9.25 save percentage every season. It's not gonna happen with all the changes in the NHL with the goalie stuff. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, Connor Hellebuck did have a better season than Mikko Koskinen. Now we go to Matt Murray, which people are mad for some reason. Why didn't we go after Matt Murray? Well, Matt Murray had a 2.87 goals against last season with an 899 save percentage. Koskinen was better. And Matt Murray went 20 and 11. So yeah, he had a couple more wins and a couple more losses than Koskinen, but he did have 3 more overtime losses than Koskinen. But the goals against there. It doesn't matter about wins or losses, because if you can't save a puck and you're letting in almost 3 goals a game or over 3 goals a game, your team has to do a lot of scoring for you to win. And that Pittsburgh team in front of Matt Murray had to do that. So Koskinen did have a better season last year than Matt Murray. And we got to remember, Mike Smith played half of these games too for the Edmonton Oilers. Now we go to Frederik Andersen in Toronto. 2.85 goals against with a 909 save percentage. Again, Mikko Koskinen has the better stats in those regards. I'm not looking at, wins or losses because that's a team thing. I'm looking at individual stats here, and again, Mikko Koskinen beats Toronto. We were not a top, if it wasn't by the win percentage and went by points, we were a top 4 team. We were a top 4 team when the break started. Mikko Koskinen, Mike Smith got us there. With, then you might say, well, we have a backup. No, we don't. We got a goalie and a B goalie. Maybe Smith now could be considered a backup due to his age and, depending on how he plays this season, he could be considered a backup. But Mikko Koskinen is a starter for the Edmonton Oilers and a starter in this league. Now, last but not least, we go to the Montreal Canadiens. Carey Price had a 2.79 with a 909 save percentage. Mikko Koskinen did better than Carey Price. Yeah, Carey Price probably played. He played 58 games. He went 27 and 25 for the Montreal Canadiens with 6 overtime losses. So right there, even though he played more games, his win-to-loss record's worse than Koskinen's. That is why I'm saying I believe Ken Holland stuck with these goalies. He looked at the numbers. The numbers do not lie for the Edmonton Oilers. And, we weren't a top 4 or 5 team last season for nothing. Yeah, we had an amazing power play. Yeah, our 5-on-5 sucked. We had 2 lines that really only could score 5-on-5. Our shorthand, our penalty kill was good, but they didn't score many shorthanded goals. They were just really good at defending the power play, and so on and so forth. And I don't know why everyone keeps saying Mikko Koskinen is not a starter. We just proved it by the stats. Back when he started in 2010-11 with the New York Islanders, or was it the New York Islanders? Yeah, it was. Let's go look at his stats. He played 4 games. He went 2-1. He had a 4.33 goals against and an 873 save percentage in 4 games. He comes to Edmonton after 7 years. 2.93 goals against and 906 save percentage. Okay, that's a bit on the high side. And then he comes and goes up his save percentage by .011, and his goals against goes down by almost 20, and it's 18.18. And you're still saying we have a backup? I can't stress this enough. I could be wrong. Mikko Koskinen could have a horrible season, but I don't think so. look at all the Oilers goalies from even 10 years ago, 10 years to now, before Mikko Koskinen, Cam Talbot, and all that. Our defense theoretically isn't the greatest. We don't have a number one defenseman. Do we have a number one line defenseman? Yeah, you could say Clefbaum. We do have guys in prospects that could be a number one defenseman down the road, but we don't have a true number one. And Mikko Koskinen's still putting up those numbers. To win the Vezina, Connor Hellebuck needed a .922 save percentage. That's 5 points more than what Mikko Koskinen had. And, the goals against were down by like 20. But, look at all this and figure out, well, Mikko Koskinen is a pretty good goalie, sorry. The defense on the Edmonton Oilers, they have rough times. We've seen it. And, how many goals actually go off our defenseman past Mikko Koskinen? It's ridiculous how many times that happens. And it happened, I bet you, about 6-7 times last year on Mikko Koskinen. That, it's not really his fault. It's just an unlucky bounce. But anyway, that's my rant. If you don't agree with me, it is what it is. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I do not believe Koskinen's a backup goalie. I believe, he's a starter in the NHL. Is he the best starter? No. Could we have upgraded from him? Yeah. But for the money-wise, no. There was no point for Ken Holland to do that. And I think Ken Holland's going to stick with Koskinen. And, if this year doesn't go the way the Edmonton Oilers want or Mikko Koskinen, then we shop for a goalie. We didn't need to go spend $6 million on Markstrom and not get Turris, not get Barry, and try and fill out everything else. This gives us the leeway with $28 million next year to go get a goalie, sign Nuge, sign Barry again if he does good, sign Ennis if he does good. Anyway, you guys have a safe holidays. I'll catch you on the next one.